Vodola yogi yo, jogging up on at you. Vodola yogi yo.
Yo, what's up guys? This is Roth from Metagang. I'm going to be bringing you my Altergeist deck profile. Now, it's somewhat updated. I keep mixing it around, playtesting just a little bit. I don't get enough of it, and that's the problem. Not enough playtests with this deck, anyway. Now, I'm happy that the structure deck came out for the Spirit Charmers, allowing me to pick up a couple cards that I really didn't have access to before, and I'll show you exactly what they are, and yeah, we'll dive right into it here. So, we'll have 3 of our Melee-Seek, this will be our level 1, and these are all going to be spellcasters. Altergeist is going to be the spellcaster type. So, when this card can attack directly, and then when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one card your opponent controls, send it to the graveyard. Alright, that's fantastic. So we can get rid of problematic cards pretty much at will and inflict 500 points of damage to the opponent. Awesome. Alright, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you get to add one Altergeist monster from your deck to hand. So what you'll typically do is you go first turn and just set him up and then send him away with Linkuriboh, allowing you to have a body Linkuriboh, and you're able to get your search with Melee-Seek. So it's just phenomenal. And typically you would search out, well, Multi-Faker. Multi-Faker in your hand is phenomenal, pretty much, because if you activate a trap card, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon one Altergeist monster from your deck in defense position. So not only you pretty much resolve one of your trap cards, you get to bring him out, and then he gets to bring out another one. So you can really start mounting advantage pretty easy, especially if you were just able to counter your opponent and make them kind of lose materials, and then you just plus on top of that is pretty nice. So that's what he's used for. Marionettor. Now this is going to be your level 4. It's decent. If you don't have Melee-Seek, you pretty much want to be able to start with Marionettor. When this card is normal summoned, you can set one Altergeist trap directly from your deck to the spell and trap zone. You can target one Altergeist card you control and one Altergeist monster in your graveyard. Send the card from the field to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon the other monster from your graveyard. So this guy allows you to send away useless Altergeist monsters you don't really need, or cards, and be able to reoccur your monsters back. Let's say you just be able to bring Melee-Seek back off of him, and then let's say you link the Melee-Seek away, then you just got another material back in hand with Melee-Seek's effect. So depending on what you're doing, that could be a really good play. But mostly it's the setting of the trap cards what you want to do with the Marionettor. Now, use the Siliquis. Pretty much the Kirin of the deck. It's where you can target one of your opponent's monsters and just bounce it back into the hand, making it very problematic for your opponent to actually ever be able to start a board. So it would typically be brought out with the Multi-Faker. So quick effect, you can return one other Altergeist card you control to the hand, then target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. So that's just amazing effect. That's that's almost too good. And then if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one Altergeist trap in the graveyard, add that card to your hand. So you can reoccur your traps back in the hand so you can use them again, which is great if you ever lose your traps. And we got Konkori. I can't cut him. He's actually down from 3 to 2. I really like this card a lot. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, if you control a Altergeist card, you can special summon this card from your hand. So that's awesome right away. You get a body, and if you do, you negate the attack. So like, excellent. That's what we want to do. We want to have our back row lined up, or our little guys, you know, kind of out doing their thing, or set up where we would be able to bounce around our opponents and kind of out their plays and just out resource them. And then he's got another tricky effect. If this card is special summoned, you can target one face-up card your opponent controls, negate the effects of that card while it is face up. While this card's face up. So as long as this thing stays out in the field, it can shut off any card your opponent has, which is awesome. So he's another one that I don't want to take out, and yeah, I did play him more. Used to use him for the multi-faker. Bring him out, multi-faker, hit a problematic card on the field, and just kind of stop it, so I can play Yu-Gi-Oh. We don't want our opponent playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and this is pretty much what this deck is going to do for us, is stop our opponent. He's the Fingerling. He's the tuner of the deck. That's what makes him special. It's because he's the tuner, and you play one of, just because you can see him bring him out with multi-faker or other means to be able to actually like get to him and play him. But the whole reason why I play him is because he's an Altergeist and a tuner. So monsters your opponent controls cannot target Altergeist monsters you control for attacks except this guy, which is okay. Also, your opponent cannot target Altergeist monsters you control with card effects except this guy. So pretty much he draws all the aggro. You have to attack him or target him with effects. So that's pretty great, especially if you're using the camouflage trap card, and then you can make it where they have to. Well, actually, that won't work. He's a tricky one to use. I'll just leave it at that, and if you guys can figure it out, give me something in the comment section. Yeah. Tuner. That's why I play him. Alright, here we are. Thank you, Structure Deck. So, here we are with the Witchcrafter Golem. It's pretty neat, guys. When your opponent activates a card effect that targets a spellcaster monsters you control, or target it for an attack, quick effect, you can target one card your opponent controls or Witchcrafter spell in your grave, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, return the targeted card to the hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, and then during your opponent's standby phase, return the card to the hand. Return this card to hand. So what she's going to do, except for also be just an amazing big body, is be another kind of like a Konkori and kind of like a multi-faker Siliquise kind of built in one type deal. If my opponent is going to declare a target on my spellcasters or use an effect on them, I got her in hand, I can just pop this thing out. Hopefully they have a field of something that I kind of need to get rid of, a kind of spot check something. I'm able to get rid of it and then land a decent body. So she's amazing. That wraps it up for the monsters. And we'll go for trap cards. We got 2 personal spoofing. So This thing got hit in OCG for a while. It's actually a really good card. It'd be broke if it was an Ultrageist spoofing instead of personal spoofing. Just because it'd be searchable. It'd be really ridiculous. So once per turn, you can shuffle one other Ultrageist card from your hand or face up on the field to the main deck. Add one Ultrageist monster from deck to hand. So what that means, if you have this thing out, and you can go through and that effect will resolve either sending one in your hand, which is so easy, or on the field, which you probably won't need. And then you'll bring out, you know, multi-figure, because you're going to add it to your hand off of spoofing. This resolved, this being in hand, this will now trigger, and then you can summon in a new chain, and yeah, continue to go off. So this card's really, really good. Now I just run it at 2, as yeah, there's no need to see more multiples because I just don't want to see any bricks at all. Play 2 of the Ultrageist Protocol. So the activation and effects of Ultrageist cards activated on your field cannot be negated. So that's phenomenal. That really sticks a thorn in your opponent's side. So like, if you want your stuff to go off, it's going to go off, which is phenomenal. And then when your opponent activates a monster effect, you can send one other face-up Ultrageist card you control to the graveyard, and then negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. So you can just get rid of, you know, monster effects that you don't really want to have to worry about. You know, they get a play started, or try to get a play started. You can hit them with Protocol, or you can hit them with Siliquise, or you can hit them with, well, you kind of get what I'm saying. Manifestation. This is pretty much the Monster Reborn in the deck. Target one Ultrageist monster in the graveyard, special summon in an attack position, and if you do, equip it with this card. When this card leaves the field, destroy that monster. You can banish this card from the graveyard, then target one Ultrageist trap in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So it'll bring back a monster, and then either or are gone. Then, you know, they're going to destroy both, or either or the other. And then you'll be able to banish it, and then get one of your, well, Ultrageist traps. This is not Ultrageist trap, so you'll be getting a Protocol at this point. Yeah, that's actually all that I'm really running. So before I was running a Camouflage, and what was a back row protection one as well, if you guys are familiar with the Ultrageist deck. And then I'll play 2 Infinite Impermanents. So I can activate this thing out of hand, pretty much hit my opponent, effect Veiler, as long as I got a clear field. That in where it could be set on the field and be activated and stop my opponent's monster as well, and it shuts down the column, which is pretty cool. So target one face up monster your opponent controls, negate its effects until the end of the turn. Then if this card was set before the activation and is on the field at resolution for the rest of this turn, all other spell, traps, effects in the column are negated. If you control no cards, you can activate this card from your hand. So that's really awesome, because what you want to do is pretty much like use this as your effect Veiler, and because it's a trap card, you get your multi-figure to go off, and then you just punish your opponent on their turn. If they're trying to go first, and somehow you just wombo comboed and made them cry. So, got Metaverse, which we'll show you why here in a minute. Red Reboot, as we want to make sure our stuff sticks. That's pretty much it. We just want to make sure our stuff sticks. We're going to see a lot of Psalms here. because we want to make sure our opponent can't really like establish anything big, or you know, just really have too much of anything. I'd rather pay them life points and keep my opponent very minimal, if anything, and just use my Altergeist stuff to just make it very impossible to play the game. So I rounded out for the traps, which are very important for the Altergeist deck here, because as you see, it's very dependent on the traps, especially for like the main monster pretty much. And then we'll go for 1-for-1. Now the reason why we'll do 1-for-1 is the whole melee seek, and go into Link Kuriboh at very first turn and just get her done. Upstart Goblin, we'll try to speed it up a little bit with set rotation. Okay, so you guys want to see what the set rotation in the metaverse is for. So here it is. We got Secret Village, so they're all spellcasters. We just want to, you know, we want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And we want to make it as difficult as possible for our opponent to be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And the further up that strat, where we are just the dominant one on the table the entire time, we'll try to squeeze in the Numeron network. Yes, we're running Zexal in here. I don't see why not, really. He's fun. This is more of a house deck, and like I say, if you guys want to throw something down in the comments and kind of give me more of a competitive build, or what you guys think about this build, I mean, please tell me. We got the Link Kuriboh. This card's actually pretty broken. 3 Kidalga. So we don't run a whole lot of extra deck. Extra deck doesn't really matter for the Altergeist, and you could probably be running the new pot card that allows you to send 3 or 6 from your extra deck and banish them to be able to draw cards. I think it's Pot Extravagance. Yeah. Altergeist Kidalga takes 2 Altergeist monsters. When another Altergeist monster you control inflicts damage to your opponent, you can target one monster in their grave, special summon it to your zone this card points to. But each turn it cannot attack unless this card has declared an attack this turn. If this card is destroyed by battle, you can target one Altergeist card in your graveyard out of the hand. Yeah, this thing is really, really good. Pretty much you just need like a melee seek to go off and attack, and then you can just start really mounting a lot. Pretty much, you already won the game if you ever go into your Link monsters. That's the way I feel about it. So this is not really a win more strat, but like if you ever see this, yeah, you're going to win, especially if that resolves. That's just too good. We got 1 Hextia. Another one that takes 2 Altergeist monsters. It gains attack equal to the attack of each Altergeist monster it points to. So I got a side arrow and down arrow, so it wants to be, you know, at least one of them fixed to something decent. When a spell trap card or effect is activated, quick effect, you contribute 1 Altergeist monster this card points to, negate the activation. If you do, destroy that card. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one, or you can add 1 Altergeist card from your deck to your hand. So like, he's actually phenomenal additional protection to stop spells and traps from going off, and you can just, you know, send your stuff, you know, well, really it doesn't really matter, especially if you got to this point where you can start mounting advantage with your links. As you can see, like, it just starts giving you so much extra. even if you ever do lose them on the field, you always get material to play. You're always going to have something to play. We'll play the 1 Prime Banshee. So it's another one. It's a plus 2 plus Altergeist monsters. During the main phase, quick effect, contribute 1 other Altergeist monster, special summon 1 Altergeist monster from your deck to the zone this card points to. So he's a good way to kind of cheat some stuff out, and like I'll go for like Concoria if I ever have to. This kind of like stop something else on field, that or probably my tuner, so I can probably climb into something else. Because I mean, why am I at this point in my head? But in the comment section, you tell me, guys. Do you go into the Link monsters much? Do you use them much to actually win? Or is it mainly about like the extra deck? So, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target 1 Altergeist card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So it's just another, if you get rid of this piece, you get another piece back. So you'll always be able to like keep up on resources, at least going into these guys, and then they make up for some of the effects that you don't already have, or kind of want to have access to, like shutting down spells and traps. Additional, special summons. Another special summon after successfully attacking. It's pretty good, and then the ability to get buffed up. So if this guy was pointed to this one, it'd be a 36. So they're cool. I still don't think their Link monsters are the absolute best. But if I got it wrong, please tell me, guys. I'll play the Babooska just because, hey, we're playing Link monsters. So it doesn't really affect us too much if we're to stick behind the Link monsters and the trap cards at certain points in the game. Babooska really sticks your opponent pretty hard sometimes, depending on like your matchup though. So it's a utility extra deck. Just like I'm saying, like a lot of these things in the extra deck, I feel is utility because there's not really a reason to go into the extra deck for this deck. Now, if you guys feel any different, please tell me. But here we are with this Zexal package and the Numerons. So very much the Numeron stuff will bring out the Numeron stuff, and then once these guys get established, you go into the Zexal with all these materials under him. It's too good. And how that is established is you play the network, you send this to the grave, and since you got the network out, then you can bring all 4 of these guys out, and then you can overlay right into Zexal. It's too easy. It's not right. But I don't feel it's even good enough. Call me weird, but I'm kind of a hater on it. Now to go with the tuner that I have in the deck, we got Catastor, we got a Black Rose, and we got Dragster. So Catastor is going to win us battles. Black Rose is going to just clear everything, so we start over. And then Dragster is going to just, keep the pressure on our opponent so they can't use spells. I'm pretty sure that's, is it just spells? Spell and trap. So each time they would use a spell and trap, you can just take 2 levels off this card, so you can do it 3 times, and negate the spell and trap.
Like and subscribe to Metagame. Hit the bell icon.
That shit sharp. Fudula Yu-Gi-Oh! Jogging up on night you. Fudula Yu-Gi-Oh!